there is no money in freelancing. The money is actually in the freelancer. You'll see all around in the freelance industry that there are some people who make money at a very rapid rate, while there are others who are practically struggling to even make a living. Why is that? That's because successful freelancers have a few qualities and traits that really distinguish them from the rest. So I decided to make a video out of the top 3 qualities that every successful freelancer has, and if you're a freelancer, you should have them too. So, quality number 1, and that is that successful freelancers learn. Here's what I noticed in people who are unsuccessful in the freelance industry. They first join the industry, they start providing their freelance services, and then they want to learn. They want to learn along the way, and it never ever works that way. Consider it like that. Why should someone pay you money when you don't even know what the hell you're doing? If you have no idea about what you're doing and how your service can benefit the client, why would he pay you? I'll give you an example. I am a content writer and I spent a lot of time learning how my content can generate more money for the client. It took me a lot of time to realize that even if I'm a good writer, that doesn't mean that I'm good at freelance content writing for blogs. So if you are a freelancer of any sort in any industry, first learn how can you provide your service such that it provides your client with a return on his investment. If a client is paying me $100, he expects to make more than $100 from that investment. That is how it works. That is basic investing. So learn how can you provide more return on the money that is being paid to you. And that only comes by learning. The problem is that nobody teaches that in school. I was taught how to write in school, but I was never taught how to generate more money through my writing. And when I became a content writer, I realized that all of the stuff that I learned in school about how to write well, it doesn't really apply to content writing as a freelancer. It doesn't. Writing well has nothing to do with generating more money. So, when I started to learn how to make more money for the client, that's when I started making more money. And you should too. Doesn't matter which industry you are in. Maybe you make whiteboard animation videos. So learn how can you make better whiteboard animation videos that can generate more money for the client. Whatever your service is, learn what the motive of the client is when he hires you. What value does your service provide? And then learn how can you maximize that value. This is a major difference that I found in freelancers in successful industries and those that are in unsuccessful and still developing freelancing industries. It is that people in the successful industry learn and then start freelancing. People in unsuccessful industries and developing industries first join the freelancing world and then learn how to become a freelancer and generate money. Now to quality number 2, and that is that freelancers that are successful always have the end in mind. Now what do I mean by having the end in mind? It means that you have a goal and have an aim about where you can reach through freelancing. It means that you have an idea about the maximum potential of the industry that you are in. A lot of people really have no idea about how much money they can make. They have no idea about the value of the service that they are providing. And that is why they settle for less. That is why they come to me and ask, where can I find people who pay me the sort of money that you are being paid? But I am able to find people to pay me more because I know how much money my service can provide them. I know the maximum potential of being a freelance content writer. And to just give you an example, someone who pays you 1 cent per word in Pakistan, which means that every word that I write brings in 1 cent. That pay rate is considered to be pretty solid. That pay rate is considered to be a good enough pay rate to make a respectable living in Pakistan. And that is the truth. You can get by having 1 cent per word paid to you. But what people in Pakistan don't really understand is that if you are able to make it into the US industry, you are probably looking at 3, 4, 5 cents a word just to start. This is what a lot of gurus who are teaching freelancing consider as the basic pay rate for a freelancer. Can you imagine a person who's making a comfortable living with 1 cent per word and he jumps up to 3 to 5 cents per word? That means that he multiplied his income by 3 to 5 times. But the problem is that most people over here really don't know that. They don't know the maximum potential of their industry. And the problem with not knowing the maximum potential of your industry is that you don't know where you are headed. You don't know what your aim is, what the maximum potential is. And when you don't know that, you're not building towards it. There is no chance on earth that you can reach 5 cents per word without knowing that 5 cents per word exists as a pay rate for freelancers, for freelance writers. And I've tried that. It's a tried and tested thing. If you consider 2 cents per word to be a good rate, that is where you will end up. You won't increase your pay rate after that. And if you consider 5 cents per word to be respectable money, that is where you will eventually reach, because you knew that it's possible. You knew that it is what the usual income is for someone in the US or in the UK, and you can compete that. And if you can't, you increase your skill set to meet that point. And that is what successful freelancers do. And now finally to quality number 3, and that is that successful freelancers have a business mindset. I recently wrote a post for a freelancing community on a social media platform, and I discussed about having a business mindset as a freelancer. And a lot of people were actually surprised about me talking about freelancing as a business. And it's not really their fault. It's the fault of the schooling and education system that they have gone through. It's the fault of the industries that they've worked at, that they have been given an employee mindset. They just cannot imagine themselves running a business. They cannot imagine themselves being independent, because being independent brings with it a lot of fear. The fear of having no one to fall back on. The fear of being accountable for what you do. But having a business mindset brings with it a lot of benefits as well. And that is that when you consider yourself as a business, you see yourself as a business providing services to another business, and you start thinking of yourself as equals. The problem with a lot of freelancers is that they do not mentally consider themselves to be equal to the person that's paying them. The problem with a lot of societies in the world is that the person who's paying the cash is considered to be bigger than the person who is receiving that cash. But I mentioned before as well that if someone's paying you $100 and you know how to provide a return on that investment, provide more than $100, you are actually paying more to the client than the client is paying you. So when you cultivate that mindset of being equals, and that only comes by being great at what you do, you will attain a business mindset. And when you reach that business mindset, you are able to negotiate a lot better. Only equals negotiate. Remember that. Only equals negotiate. And if you are not negotiating, that means that you do not consider yourself as an equal. Another thing that the business mindset does is that the business mindset is actually the growth mindset. People who have business mindset are always looking for ways to grow. If they make $500 a month, they're thinking about how can I make $1,000. When they make $1,000, they think about how can I make $2,000. And when they make $2,000, they think about how can I make $4,000. And once they make $4,000, they know that they are making a lot of money, but they still don't stop. They are trying to maximize. They are trying to grow further. And that is what you need to do as well. So guys, that was my video on the top 3 qualities of successful freelancers. Do comment down below which of these qualities do you already have and which of these are you working on. Make sure that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so you can get notifications whenever I update new content. Till next time, this is Khalil signing off.